Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of KJ's What Happened. I was away for a few weeks, but I'm back, so thank you very much. Had other things to attend to. Chubbs is here with me, and he's been real grumpy all day, so we might get some talking out of him. Hi, Chubbs. You want to say something? Huh? What's wrong? No? Okay. Well, they can't force you to talk, as much as I'd like to. Wrap these meaty hands around that neck and squeeze a cute little mew out of you. I just can't. It's not appropriate these days, Chubb. This is 2019. Daylight savings time, too. Kind of weird. Sunlight still out this time of evening for me. I'm used to it being dark doing these shows outside. Hey, there he is. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit. But guys, thank you for real. You're amazing. I appreciate you. I hate being away from YouTube for too long. It's only a few weeks. But I just uploaded a new video, and I've got more on the way. I'm always working on something. I got a brand new one coming up tomorrow. Won't be a longer video, but wait till you see what I got to show you. It's very interesting. Anyway, enough about me. Thanks again to the moderators as well. Let's go ahead and get started, man. I got some great little things to look into, creepy, weird, also very important. You know, we kind of mix it up a bit. I think this right here might be one of those important ones. Here's something I stumbled upon this past week. Let's go ahead and get this started and check this out together, shall we? See if I can start this.
Shouldn't get involved in politics. I think that this is a time we should speak up. I'm here today because West Virginia is $784 million in debt, complete, absolute debt. Right here, they're building brand new houses. Now they've taken white folks and black folks and they moved them down the road here to substandard housing conditions so that 321 Syrian Muslims can move down in this neighborhood in 2 months when these are completed. This is at a cost of $87 million. You see that funeral home over there? It is to be torn down in 2 months and a mosque is going to be built there. In 6 months, this place is going to be a Sharia zone, meaning no non-Christians can walk down here except Muslims. Now, why would they take white Americans and black Americans and throw them down over there in substandard housing and give this to the Islamic people who come here? Last month, you all remember on WOWK News, they come here 3 months ago, 321, and you all cheered and came down here and protested. They're living here free on your taxpayers' money while regular Americans are suffering down the street here. These Islamic people here, they get $400 for each child while the regular Americans get nothing. They get cars, they get phones, they get free health care. And regular Americans, black and whites, they're suffering. When is America going to speak up for our people? Screw these Muslims and get them out. This is West Virginia. $87 million of your tax money is right here while your own people are suffering. You want to waste taxes on cigarettes at $1 a pack. Meanwhile, everybody going to Kentucky and making Kentucky very wealthy people. You want to waste taxes on gasoline. Everybody going across the border to get it. You politicians, you need to speak up. You need to say, no, we're not having this. We have Americans suffering in this country right now. Here's your proof. 87 million West Virginia taxpaying dollars is going to Islamic refugees right here. Speak up, America.
There you go. There you go. What do you think about that? You know, there's a video on one of the videos I'm working on is about the clash of cultures or the crash of cultures throughout the centuries. And, you know, there's key ingredients, and you can look this up. There's key ingredients in every society that's failed. And it's really freaky the more I've been looking into it for this video, just where we're at in America. I mean, you know, I've been talking about this stuff for years, though. Like, so I don't really get scared by much or freaked out, you know, because I've learned to balance the things we see here with, you know, keeping peace in your life and all, and learning to live. You know, you have to learn to live with all this kind of information. But yeah, this is one of them, is breaking barriers and infusing other cultures in, because eventually these cultures become dominant over the one that they moved into, and you know, everything goes a little crazy. Battles and blood and whatnot. So anyway, I'll detail more of that in the video, but I did want to share this with you. I thought that was interesting. Let's see what else we got here. See what else we have here in the lineup. This one's really creepy to me because this is what eventually will come to America. I should do a video on that too, about how many things they've tested out in China throughout the years. And then eventually we see it show up here in America. So I'll look into that one too. But China's social credit system blocks 23 million purchases of train and plane tickets. I mean, if ever there was an example of, the beast system, or an arm of this beast system, this right here is it. It's all about control, right? Let's take a look at this. The UK Guardian reported on Friday that China's social credit system, a vast surveillance network and database system designed to punish Chinese for poor citizenship. I can't help but laugh at it. I mean, it's not really funny, but it's so absurd, right? For poor citizenship, you're a bad citizen, has blocked travelers from buying 17.5 million airplane tickets and 5.5 million train tickets. The social credit system was planned over a decade ago, formally announced in 2015, and brought online last year, creating a system where virtually everything Chinese citizens do is monitored and fed into a vast data processing system that computes citizenship scores for them. It's like we're living in an episode of Black Mirror. The system covers everything from crimes and misdemeanors to sitting in a reserved seat on a train or writing inappropriate posts on social media. That's a big one. Look at that. You can get in trouble for writing inappropriate posts on social media. And we're already seeing a lot of this mirrored here in America, right? It's all over the place. It's getting crazy, man. The censorship. Penalties are assessed for infractions as minor as walking a dog without a leash and jaywalking. A generous amount of highly subjective bureaucratic tweaking was provided for, giving the authoritarian government tools to ensure troublesome citizens receive low social credit ratings. The bad people. It'll be the good people and the bad people. And the good people will be the ones the government likes. And then there's the bad people, right? We're probably going to be the bad people. You know this, right? And and I'll take that title proudly if it ever comes to that over here. Or when it comes to that. I hate to be negative, but it seems like there are forces at work trying to get that to happen over here. Travel privileges were always mentioned as one of the first things Chinese would lose if their social credit rating dropped too much. The Guardian noted one of the early design documents for the system said its objective would be to allow the trustworthy to roam everywhere under heaven while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step. That just feels like Orwell to me right there. Allow the trustworthy, so the good people, to roam everywhere under heaven while making it hard for the discredited, the bad people, to take a single step. China already maintained an extensive blacklist of citizens who were not allowed to fly, but the social credit system appears to have tripled the number of banned flyers and added a hefty number of people who are not even permitted to ride on trains. Low social credit scores can also prevent Chinese citizens from making investments or buying real estate. Corporate entities are also issued social credit ratings and could be effectively driven out of business if their rating is low. Corporations the government doesn't like, I'm sure. Bad corporations. A possibility foreign officials and business leaders should keep in mind when they debate whether any Chinese business is truly independent of the government and Communist Party. The tech community responded to the Guardian report with some astonishment that China's social credit system is already dishing out penalties on such a vast scale, since Chinese officials previously spoke of beginning with limited test runs and pilot programs. I remember that. People were saying, this is still a few years away. Meanwhile, right, that was all just a bait and switch. There's also a deeply disturbing sense that China's dystopian surveillance nightmare is merely a focused and amplified version of the privatized social credit system taking shape in the Western world. Wired explicitly made that comparison in January. Brits are well accustomed to credit checks. Data brokers such as Experian trace the timely manner in which we pay our debts, giving us a score that's used by lenders and mortgage providers. We also have social-style scores. And anyone who has shopped online with eBay has a rating on shipping items and communication, while Uber drivers and passengers both rate each other. If your score falls too short, you're out of luck. That's interesting, isn't it, the way that it's already being implemented? This would be the programming, right? The social engineering. China's social credit system expands that idea to all aspects of life, judging citizens' behavior and trustworthiness. Caught jaywalking, don't pay a court bill, play your music too loud on the train, you could lose certain rights, such as booking a flight or train ticket. The idea itself is not a Chinese phenomenon, a research associate says, nor is the use and abuse of aggregated data for analysis of behavior. But if the Chinese system does come together as envisioned, it would still be something very unique, she says. It's both unique, here's the important part, and part of a global trend. Both unique and part of a global trend is not a comforting analysis when discussing a system that prevents people from boarding trains if they write blog posts which anger the powers that be. The slapdash Western system is driven by vigilante mob action, political activists infiltrating large corporations, and craven CEOs folding under public pressure. The result increasingly resembles a softball version of China's major league surveillance state, as political considerations are invoked to ban people and business entities from accessing financial services. In China, you can't fly if your social credit is low. In America, can you hear all that noise in the background? That's Chubbs. He gets this way. You guys know this. He found a bag over there, and now he's just playing with it. He usually won't do that, but he knows I'm talking to you guys. I'm almost done with this article anyway. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So in China, you can't fly if your social credit score is low. In America, statists have suggested using a no-fly list to rescind Second Amendment rights. The Chinese may say it's better to design and create a social credit system from the ground up than allow one to congeal haphazardly on its own. In fact, the Chinese system includes some regional variations that Beijing wishes to iron out. All right, I think we got it. It's a pretty long article, but you get the gist, right? I mean, you see that this is actually happening right now in China. I've got some stories here tonight that talk a bit about the rise of socialism here in America, which is socialism, right? Which is just another version of communism, really, is what it is and what it's going to turn into anyway. So this is spreading, and communism is a part of the beast, the beast system. Albert Pike mentioned the communists in the visions of World War III. Albert Pike's visions of the world wars. You can look into this. Albert Pike is an esteemed Freemason. He's got his own statue in D.C., I believe it is, right? And actually, hold on, guys. Let me go remove this bag. Hi. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Come on. Try to be cool, okay? Try to be cool, Chubbs. For once in your life, try to be cool. Okay, I took it away. But anyway, look that up. Look up the Albert Pike's 3 World Wars. If you've never heard of that before. A revered Freemason with the Masons. And just look at what he says about the wars, especially World War III. In that vision, he calls it a vision. I call it a playbook. But in that vision, he says that the communists would infiltrate America and basically take over every sector, right? And you see that happening now, right? With all the censorship and things like this happening. Even Antifa, which is doublespeak, anti-fascist, but they're the most fascist group out there, right? They're violent. So we see all this stuff taking place. And he says that they would basically unleash the communists, the atheists actually, but all together. So the communists or the atheists, they would unleash the atheists on the Christians. And they believe that the atheists eventually would win. Sorry about that, too. I just confused the words. I was saying communist. I meant atheist. But it all falls in line, right? Because typically communists are atheists or whatever. Atheists or communists. Oftentimes. But in the vision of the World War III, they believe the atheists are going to kill off all the Christians. And then when they're done with that, the people who are in charge, some of us call them the Illuminati, right? There's a lot of secret societies working together with all this beast system. And they're going to get rid of the atheists because they're going to implement a one world religion. So they're going to need believers. So the atheists, you're not going to make it. They want believers. This is a beast system. It's not fulfilled yet completely. But at the top, there will be the son of perdition, the man of sin, the Antichrist. And the world will be made to worship this person. Atheists don't fit into that. Just something to consider, I guess. Anyway, there you go. Living in an episode of Black Mirror. Married man spends $76,000 to look like the, quote, perfect woman. This name, though, Fulvia Pellegrino, 56, is a transgender woman. She recently spent more than $76,000 to change her body to look like a woman. She spent money to change her body to look like a woman. This is the world I live in. According to reports, Fulvia has undergone more than 150 lip and cheekbone fillers, 2 sessions of liposuction, and 4 boob implants. Fulvia was fully supported by her wife, Marissa. Fulvia was born and named Fulvio. At the age of 15, she first started to recognize that she was transgender. Her family was very religious, and she kept it a secret. Let's take a look here at what we got. And there's Fulvia. Fulvia met Marissa 32 years ago and didn't even tell her the secret. Marissa and Fulvia got married. Fulvia started a cross-dress in their garage, and she even visited gay bars. Okay. Some of the process there. In public, Fulvia was all male. She bought expensive cars and firearms. It was 16 years ago when Fulvia told Marissa the secret she'd been hiding for so long. Today, Marissa and Fulvia live together and are more like sisters than husband and wife. Marissa did have to see a psychologist, of course, to help her adjust. Fulvia's family were not accepting and even prevented her from attending her father's funeral. Fulvia's journey began. She started with a round of hormone therapy, and then there's just more info on this, which is I don't really want to get into, but mainly just there's the picture. I don't even want to make it any bigger. Stuff like this. Oh, look at this. Her goal is to look like the American transgender porn star Alana Starr. Okay. I didn't see that. So, this is it's not to make fun of this person. It's just I see things like this, and these people are trapped. They're trapped, and they need prayer. And this is spiritual to me. It all starts from inside, right? So this is what's manifested to the outside. So this person certainly needs prayer, I believe, not to be mocked and ridiculed. They're trapped, and I can just imagine from the outlook, from what it looks like here on the outside with this person, imagine the pain that's on the inside, But unfortunately, the world's no longer looking at it like this. They want to coddle this kind of behavior and even, push acceptance of it. They embrace this kind of behavior. The world does. Right? Next story. Hold on 1 second. Hey, man. Hi. What's going on there? Good boy. All right, guys. Sorry, I had to put Chubbs in timeout again. He's over there playing with the wires behind the TV. So, little stinker. I know. I wish he'd be nicer. Remember, there have been shows I've had where I can have a little conversation with him here, and he's really chill, but not wanting to talk. He's just trying to be a little butt tonight, so I'm going to lock him up, okay? This is kind of a crazy story. Sorry, I wasn't expecting all this. Don't want to see that. But check this out. And we have friends listening, I believe, right now from the UK. What do you guys know about this? UK prawn block starts April 1st. Is this an April Fool's joke? Again, our friends our friends across the pond, if you know anything about this, please chime in the chat room. And perhaps if you're watching this after it's uploaded, talk to us in the comments. UK prawn block starts April 1st, but you can unlock it by handing over your ID or buying $5 prawn card on your local high street. Okay. As early as next month, those sites, adult sites, will be required to get proof of ID from UK residents before showing any of those kind of clips. That includes free sites like Prawn Hub and YouPrawn. YouTube doesn't like that word, which attract nearly 2 billion visits a month between them worldwide. They'll join a number of other sites in using this age ID system, which requires users to verify their age via an official form of ID, such as driver's license or passport. That's so weird. You have to identify yourself. Oh, you want to look at naughty things. Okay, let's see the ID. Ugh. I don't like where this is going. I guess on things like this, I see both sides when it comes to the issue of prawn. Myself, many years ago, when I was in the military, I got really heavily addicted to some of this stuff, and it took a long time to get away from it. A long time. A lot of prayer and repenting and falling back, repenting and falling back, repenting and falling back. That went on for years. I finally conquered it, though. My faith is what got me through. But, you know, even that, I still just do my best to steer away from it, or even sexy type stuff. And it's hard to do that sometimes, especially not just here with the show, but just having a freaking TV on in the background, even commercials. You know, everything's just so like, you know, sex sells, right? So anyway, from April, when the new system is expected to launch, randy internet lurkers will be shown a non-pornographic landing page, according to Age ID spokesman James Clark. When a user first visits a site protected by Age ID, a landing page will appear with a prompt for the user to verify their age before they can access the site. Each website will create their own non-pornographic landing page for this purpose. When someone first clicks on a site, they'll be asked to register with Age ID and verify their age using a mobile SMS, credit card, passport, or driver's license. Ugh. You got to give out this information now for that? Okay. But what I was saying earlier, I see kind of both sides of it. Like on one side, you know, of course, I wish it wasn't around. You know, it only serves wicked purposes. That's the way I see it. I mean, it destroys marriages, makes many men impotent. That's a big issue. That's why I've shown stories on here before on the show that the people who are consuming the most, what is that, like Viagra and stuff like that? It's like now the new group, it's kids in high school. It's teenagers, because a lot of them can't even function anymore because they're getting addicted to pornography at like, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old. That's the world we're in, right? So let's see here. The new rules were approved as part of the Digital Economy Act 2017. They aim to make it harder for under 18s to get hold of adult material. As well as registering with Age ID, Brits also will be able to access these sites using a voucher you can buy from higher street shops. So as I was saying, on one side, I'm okay with, I wish it wasn't even around. But since it's here, on the other side, I would almost rather it be available and not have the government get involved, because I believe strongly, of course, in free will. You know, there's that too. You've got your own free will. You've got these choices. I don't know. You may not agree with that. That's fine. But I'm just saying I would rather people have control over themselves or have to work on that than the government coming in and telling us what's naughty, you know, what's good, what's bad, who's good, who's bad, right? I don't know. It's a complicated issue. I can see a few different sides of it. But this whole thing's really creepy that they're actually asking people to give their IDs over. You know, so I don't know. Thousands of shops will offer the special ID cards, which users can link to an app known as Ports. Through Ports, they can then log into sites without having to hand over their email address. Clark said the Ports card will be available to purchase from any of the UK's 29,000 PayPoint outlets as a voucher. It's going to be, that's like now in public, anytime someone's buying one of these things, like you got to go out in public and do this. Everyone knows what you're going to be doing. You know, I don't know. Maybe no one cares about that anymore. I'm not sure. I mean, modesty and things like this basically been thrown out the door over the last several years, it feels, globally, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just old. A unique validation code on the purchased card must be activated via the Ports app within 24 hours, otherwise it'll expire. Verified users will then automatically be granted access to all sites using Age ID. Each ports card will cost $4.99 for use on a single device or $8.99 for use across multiple devices. What do you guys think about that? Especially our friends out there in the UK. What do you think? What are the people saying about this? I'm curious. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what's next. Oh, okay, it's a video. Cool. We get to watch a video. It's from the hidden underbelly. And it's still loading. And yeah, this is a really cool one, I thought. Let's let this load up here. Touched by an Angel, Adana, Turkey. The clip really does kind of speak for itself anyway. So let's... I think there's some volume on there. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can hear all that noise in the background still. You hear that? A little scratching and stuff. You'll hear the doors shake. I have French doors in here. And I put Chubbs in a room where the French doors are, and I shut him. And ever since he's been in there for the last 5 minutes or so, his paws are under the door, nails out, grabbing the doors and shaking them as much as he can. So he's really trying to annoy me tonight. It's been a little while since we did these shows, and this is the most I talk, here at my place. So, if I'm not talking to him, he does this when I'm on the phone with people too. So he's really going off tonight. So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully he'll chill out here in a little while and we can have a little talk with him. We'll see. Touched by an Angel. Watch this. Watch closely. It's pretty cool. What do you think about this? Stop. One more time. Man, what do you think? Let me see if it'll go back. I think it shows us one more time, maybe. I want to just pause it on the guy that taps him on the shoulder. Here, it's coming up. It reminds me of that scripture about, beware when entertaining strangers, because you may actually be dealing with angels. You know that one. Some of you do. Very interesting, right? How could this have been a setup? I don't think it was. I mean, it's from a shop camera in Turkey. Anything I guess could be set up, but this one seems legit. I haven't heard anybody say it's not yet. I haven't seen it debunked or anything. Also, who'd want to set up a stunt like that? I mean, that could hurt somebody, you would think, right? I don't know, but there's the guy. There's the mystery man walking in the road. You really can't make out any of his features. The mystery man on the road, and then just randomly walking by, seems, you would think, touches this guy on the shoulder. Swoop. There goes that. I mean, that would have done some damage, right? It looks like it would have done some pretty serious damage. One more time. Touches him on the shoulder. The only thing that is kind of weird is that he turns around on the shoulder that didn't get touched. You know what I mean? Like he got touched on his left shoulder, but then he looks to his right. I don't know. No, he did. Okay. Yeah, he kind of quickly looked to the left, it looked like, and then turned to the right. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, though. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on that? Woman spends 8,000 on extreme transformation from girly teen to a human dragon. Human dragon. Let's take a look at this. I'll try to pause the video. I don't like playing the videos usually on these. YouTube can be a real stinker about stuff like that, you know. Body modification fan has spent a decade transforming herself. Amber Luke, 24. Wow, so she started at 14. Where were the parents? She's forked out 8,000 on numerous extreme procedures to become a blue-eyed white dragon. She's also spent hours under the tattooist's needle, covering her skin and eyes with inkings. The Australian woman now looks nothing like her teenage self. During her teenage years, Amber was diagnosed with clinical depression. I'm not surprised. In an interview with the Daily Mail, the New South Wales lass, we don't use lass in America, but I might need to bring it over here. Maybe I'll start trying it around my family and friends. The New South Wales lass revealed that her passion for inking gave her a channel to express herself. She said, "Back when I was 14, I didn't know who I was or what I wanted from life. I was catatonic and couldn't see what was best for me. I was naive. But I now have a backbone and I can stand up for what I believe in. I also have the confidence to look however I want to. It wasn't until I turned 16 I was finally able to find an outlet that released all of my negative energy." So again, right? We talked about this earlier. It starts from within and it manifests to the outside, the exterior. And that's what happened to her. I mean, she's still a doll, right? That's a pretty girl right there. Still has a beautiful face. I hope she doesn't keep tattooing over the face. She's a doll. Look at this one. But I don't know about you, but I'm not with all the ink. I've got a little bit. I got some when I was in the military, but it's been a long time, you know. I never wanted to go really get a whole lot more, but girl's a doll. But look at this, and the Generation Z is really anti-tattoo. You know, they're interesting. They're even a little more conservative than the millennials. So, you know, these things come and go. She's going to be a creepy grandma, you know, by the time she's old, 70s, 80s, whatever, because these things would have already passed by. Maybe the trend will cycle back again, maybe once or twice before she hits 80. I'm not sure. It's too much ink, though. I don't like all the ink. Look at her on the left. She's a doll. She's a doll. Still cute face, a little bit. I don't know. The blue eyes, a little weird. Looks like her mouth is starting to, yeah, she's done some work on the mouth. Since she developed a love for body art, Amber has been inked 100 times. She now describes herself as a blue-eyed white dragon. The nickname is likely to be because of her piercing eyes, which she achieved by getting them tattooed. Her split tongue, okay, we didn't know about that, achieved through body modification, is another reason why she's adopted the mythical pseudonym. Even though she's already spent 8,000 on various procedures, the Instagram star isn't planning on stopping. See, now that's not attractive. That's not attractive. Wow. Crazy, huh? In the future, Amber plans on getting her entire body covered in tattoos. She's also getting silver grills applied to her canine teeth. This will make them resemble two fangs, which should enhance her dragon look. While these procedures are likely pricey, the social media influencer isn't worried about paying for them. Her unique looks have led to her being bombarded with business opportunities. She's raked in cash by working as a model on photo shoots and is also likely to drum up some funds from promotion on her popular Instagram page. There's some of her back tattoos. All right, there you go. That's what you get. That's what happens. That's what happened. This was crazy, man. I mean, I don't think about it, but I hadn't been thinking about it. But when I saw this headline, it's like the internet's only 30 years old. Wow, that's crazy. It's only 30 years old. Isn't that weird? There's so many of us that lived through this. Like, we remember life before the internet, you know, how different things were. They were. Things were very different. this does bring everyone together. I mean, I've always, now looking at this too, you think back that this is obviously a really important piece to the end, to bringing the whole world together as one. As the web turns 30, is it an out-of-control monster? 30 years ago this month, a young British software engineer working at a lab near Geneva invented a system for scientists to share information that would ultimately change humanity. But 3 decades after he invented the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee has warned that his creation has been hijacked by crooks that may spell its destruction. Berners-Lee's office at Europe's... CERN. There we go. Makes sense now. Berners-Lee's old office at Europe's physics lab, CERN, now looks no different than the others lining the long, nondescript corridor within the expansive compound. The only indication that history was made here is a small commemorative plaque and a page from an old CERN directory hung on the door with "momentarily out of office" written in jest next to his name. Tim worked a lot, said technician Francois Flukiger, who took charge of the web team after Berners left. The lights were always on in his office. Berners-Lee was responsible for CERN's internal directory, but was interested in ways to allow the thousands of scientists around the world who cooperated with the lab to more easily share their work. His vision for a decentralized information managed system soon gave birth to the web. Primitive forms of the internet and network linking computers had previously existed, but it was the World Wide Web that allowed web pages to be collected and accessed with a browser. Very early on, we had the feeling that history was in the making, Flukiger said. It's not an easy name to say, Flukiger. I'm going to take a drink here real quick. Unsweet iced tea sweetened with stevia this evening. Flukiger. Not an easy name to say. In 1990, Belgian scientist Robert Caillou, that's a little better, came on board to help promote the invention, which used hypertext markup language, HTML, as a standard to create web pages. They created the HTTP, which allows users to access resources by clicking on hyperlinks, and also Uniform Resource Locators, URLs, as a website address system. At the end of 1990, Berners-Lee set CERN's first web navigator server into action. The browser was released outside of CERN in early 1991, first to other research institutions and later to the public. Flukiger, now retired, held the web as one of the 3 major inventions in the 20th century that enabled the digital society alongside IP and Google's search algorithms. Screw Google's search algorithms. But he lamented the online bullying, fake news, and mass hysteria that flourish online, as well as threats to privacy. One has to ask oneself if we did not, in the end, create a completely out-of-control monster, crooks and trolls. I guess, maybe it also it's this anonymous troll thing online. It allows the darkness that's already within these people to really come out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just an easy outlet. No one needs to know who you are. It's an easy outlet, so you can just, all that nastiness inside you can just flood it out online, right? And unfortunately, it seems like there's a lot of people with a lot of darkness in them, because trolling, of course, is all over the place. But then in some ways, we're all a troll sometimes, right? We've all kind of fallen into this stuff. I'll troll movie trailers and stuff like that I don't like, and news stories sometimes. At the Web Summit in Lisbon last November, he called for a new contract for the web based on access for all and the fundamental right to privacy, among other things. The web has been hijacked by crooks and trolls who have used it to manipulate people all over the world. In January, the man dubbed the father of the web urged the global elites at the World Economic Forum in Davos to join the fight against the polarization of online debates. Awesome. Let's bring in the global elites. They'll make everything better. He called for discussion platforms that connect people with different opinions and backgrounds, contrary to today's common practice of creating online ghettos, filter bubbles, and feedback loops where people rarely encounter opinions different from their own. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres also voiced concerns at Davos over the direction the web was taking. He warned of the impact of the dark web and the deep web and all the problems of cybersecurity. and called for creation of soft mechanisms to help rein in countries using this technology to violate human rights. Back in 1989, no one could have foreseen the importance of the emerging web. CERN has held on to only a few souvenirs from the early days. The first memo that Berners-Lee drafted about his invention, his Black Next computer station, and his keyboard. But while CERN may not have preserved many keepsakes to memorialize the historic invention, it has strived to prevent the web from falling into the wrong hands. In 1993, the organization announced it was putting the web software into the public domain, which could have allowed any individual or business to claim it as their own and control its development. But destiny, with a little help from Fluckiger, helped avert potential disaster. After discussions with CERN's legal service, Fluckiger decided in 1994 to launch a new open source version of the web. That proved a crucial move that allowed CERN, good old CERN. You haven't seen Symmetry from CERN? Look it up. That's the truth of what CERN's all about. It is a cult. It is a part of the beast system. Absolutely. It's not just a bunch of nerdy scientists. That proved a crucial move that allowed CERN to retain the intellectual property rights to the invention while giving access to anyone to use and modify the web freely and without cost. In 1995, the intellectual property rights were transferred. All right, now it's boring stuff. But we get it. We understand. Interesting, the CERN connection to the WWW, the 3 W's. The World Wide Web. Fluckiger. Freaking Fluckiger. You again? Dude. I gave you one job to do. Freaking Fluckiger. Google inside your head. Oops. Let's stop this video from playing, all right? Google inside your head. Brain implants on way to revolutionize AI for humans. DeepMind. Yeah. That's right. Top AI expert Nicholas Karinos believes within 20 years, implants put into humans' heads will allow us to not have to memorize a thing. I will not be partaking. I might not even be here anyway. That's 20 years. It's a long time. The CEO and founder of FoundTech AI exclusively told Daily Star Online, you won't need to memorize anything. Learning will not be about memorizing things. He said, humans, without making a sound or typing a single thing, will hear the answer to any question we may have inside our heads. Of course. Yes, of course. Without making a sound or typing anything, you can ask something like, how do you say this in French? And instantly you'll hear the information from the AI implant and be able to say it. Honestly, that is so creepy. It's like a Siri implanted in your brain. Freaking Google. People talk about breaking Google apart and all this. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know. They're still going to be important no matter what happens. They're a major part of everything happening in humanity right now. Nick said humans without making a sound. He says the need to learn things in parrot fashion, as we are taught in schools, will disappear completely. He revealed the need to actually learn something parrot fashion is going to disappear because we'll have access to everything instantly. Google will be in your head, and that's not far-fetched. It'll be like having a really smart assistant that will almost think like you. Nick has more than 20 years' experience of working with startups and focuses on problem-solving using AI. He revealed his thoughts on the future of AI to Daily Star. All right. Anyway, what do you think about that? Are you going to let them do that to you? Yes, I'm talking to you, young ones. Those youngins, teens, 20s, it might be people in their 20s that might be listening. You're going to see this. 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe not. I don't know. Death rate has increased so much. People my age everywhere are having heart attacks and getting diabetes. And I consider myself just a middle-aged, younger-looking man. And, I just had my heart attack about 7 months ago now. And it's not that unusual. I'm hearing stories from friends of friends and family, and there's all kinds of people who are really suffering in their 40s and their 50s now, men and women. because we, the Gen Xers, were the first generation to go through, I believe, the real first implementation of the full-on, eugenics that they started putting us through, like weaponizing food, weaponizing entertainment, mind control, things like that. Like the Gen Xers are the first generation to fully go through this. A lot of us were raised on McDonald's and all that crap, right? So now in middle age, 40, 50, we're starting to see the results of being raised in the beast system, right? As they really started implementing it. And of course, it's increased over the years. I did a video a while back about the millennials being the most programmed generation in history. Google inside your head, brain implants on a way to revolutionize AI for humans. Would you let them do that to you? Will there be a society split in two, not black versus white or brown or gay versus straight? It'll be people who have these chips in their brains and the people who don't, right? I can see that happening. That'd be the split, Spike in demand for treatment of trans teens. Ottawa clinic has seen demand grow from 2 children a year to 189. Guys, listen. I don't hate these people. I pray for them, and I feel bad for them. We all have, demons you got to deal with, right? Everyone gets attacked. I'm incredibly grateful this was never one that came after me or I had to deal with. And I know it's got to be tough. Really tough. I don't even know if you're a parent of a child going through this. I just can't even imagine. Maybe that's why so many parents fully embrace it. Maybe it's too painful to fight. I really don't know. But these children need spiritual leadership. Children's clinics across the country are seeing exponential growth and demand for treatment from teens who don't identify as the sex they were born with. Man. Dr. Stephen Fetter, the co-director of the Gender Diversity Clinic, the Children's Hospital in Ottawa, said a decade ago the pediatric hospital saw 1 or 2 patients a year who wanted to change their gender or had questions about their identity. Last year, 189 patients were referred to the clinic. That shows you real-world proof of how all this predictive programming and social engineering how powerful it is, and it works, right? We see it. It's in all your entertainment now. It's always in the news. This is a serious process that these kids are struggling with, and we have an opportunity to help them, he said. At the clinic, patients from Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec are seen by a team of doctors who treat them with hormone blockers, hormone therapy. These are children going through this, and in some cases, surgery to transition from one gender to another. Many of the patients Fetter sees have been suppressing their gender for years. Without treatment, he said it can lead to substance abuse, cutting, and in some cases, that word. The reality is that young people who are struggling with not being able to express themselves in their authentic way really suffer. They suffer a lot, he says. The implications of somebody not being able to be themselves is very, very stark and very frightening. He's an enabler. He's making money off it too, I'm sure, but and most likely not, let's say, spiritual, right? Not understanding of that angle of this worldwide phenomena. The Gender Diversity Clinic at CHEO isn't the only place seeing a spike in the number of children seeking treatment. This kind of growth is happening at clinics across the country and around the world. The BC Children's Hospital received 240 referrals last year compared to 20 in 2013. Sick Kids in Toronto saw 100 referrals in 2013. That number has since doubled. Trans Youth Can, a national research study involving 10 clinics from across the country, is studying the medical and social outcomes from trans youth referred for hormone treatment. According to the study, there has been an exponential rise in the number of trans and non-binary youth referred to clinics across country. The deception's growing. That's what it is. It's a delusion. It's a delusion. Dr. Margaret Lawson at CHEO, who is involved in the study, said there's no explanation for the growth. Yeah, I could tell you how it happened, babe. Have a seat, toots. Let me explain. They've been programming everybody heavily now, too, for the last several years. We really don't know. We don't know where this came from. I think there's much more knowledge, much more awareness in the community in general about gender diversity, and that gender diversity is different than orientation. Okay. There you go. We don't know where this came from. This is crazy. No idea. Social engineering and predictive programming. People are being imprinted with this stuff. And then you get crazy stories like this. Fury, as ex-Olympian Sharon Davies says trans women should not compete in women's sport. Former Olympian Sharon Davies has been accused of fueling hatred after saying that trans women should not be allowed to compete in female sports. The competitive swimmer who won a swimming silver at the 1980 Olympics in Moscow and 2 Commonwealth golds said that her comments were not transphobic and claimed she had spoken to many other female athletes who feel the same way. I have nothing against anyone who wishes to be trans, she wrote. However, I believe there is a fundamental difference between the binary sex you were born with and the gender you may identify it with. To protect women's sport, those with a male advantage should not be able to compete in women's sport. I mean, that makes sense. That's basic common sense, right? But no. The 56-year-old's comments were supported by many, including Olympic track winner Sally Gunnell and some other people. However, others criticized Davies, with some even calling for her to be stripped of her MBE. Well done, Sharon. Fuel the hate, one person wrote. No one chooses to be trans. You have no idea about what it's like to be TG. Shame on you. Strip the MBE. Yes, punish her for her opinion. It's another thing we're seeing in this beast system really manifest, right? If you've got an opinion that's counter to the mainstream narrative, which is all wicked, well, you need to be punished or silenced, right? Another commented, the use of the word wishes suggests you might have fundamentally misunderstood a key aspect of the issue. Third person added, absolutely heartbreaking to see UK sports stars coming out as transphobic. You don't see trans women as women. You're also supporting transphobic hatred groups. Heartbreaking. Okay. So there you have it, right? There you go. Davies has since defended her comments, claiming that she's not the only female athlete who feels this way. It's not a transphobic thing. I really want to say we have no issue with people who are trans. Every single woman athlete I've spoken to, and I have spoken to many, all of my friends in international sports understand and feel the same way as me. It'll be interesting to see what happens to this lady, this Sharon Davies. Maybe there's a picture of her somewhere. Guess not. But it'll be very interesting to see what I would not even be surprised if somebody goes as far as this. I mean, that's the world we're living in. I don't even get surprised by this stuff anymore. It's crazy. Right? If you're not toeing the line, the mainstream narrative, which is all wickedness and debauchery, you will be punished, right? Or there are people that want to punish you, let's say. And there'll be people that want to silence you. Is there another you out there? Physicists claim parallel universes are real. I always like these kind of articles. I'm not going to read this whole thing, though. I just thought it was interesting. Also, it makes me wonder if they're just putting this stuff out there as a prime to lay on us later. But, you know, there's been some shows out there about parallel universes and movies. There's actually a show I really like. It's called, what's it called? Now I'm slipped my mind. Not Counterpoint. Is it Counterpoint? Hold on, I'm sorry. Gosh, I like it, but I can't remember the name. But it's about a guy. It takes place in Germany, and in the show 30 years ago, they found a tunnel over there in Germany that went to, if you followed it all the way through, went out the other side, it was another entire Earth, and everybody has a doppelganger. There's another you on the other side. Oh, I think it's Counterpoint. Gosh, I'm sorry. J.K. Rowling's in it, that actor. Then is it J.K. Rowling, or is that the lady that wrote? Is that the lady that wrote Harry Potter? I think that is. Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the show. But anyway, so you go to the other side. There's a whole other Earth on the other side of this tunnel, and all of us have a copy. And the series is about one group of people on one side, like the other side, sneaking over to our side and killing their others and living their lives and things like this. So it's pretty interesting. But that's been out for a couple of years, that show. So I saw this article and it kind of reminded me of that. Is there another you out there? Physicists claim parallel universes are real. This isn't science fiction, but a genuine theory supported by some of the world's greatest physicists. The many worlds interpretation was first proposed by American physicist Hugh Everett in 1957. Initially ignored, the idea was later popularized by theoretical physicist Bryce Seligman DeWitt a decade later. Physicist, there's a lot of, they say physicist a lot here. Physicist and cosmologist, or cosmologist, that's a big difference between a cosmologist and a cosmetologist. Max Tegmark told New Scientist knowing about the multiverse gives him an entirely different perspective in his life. I feel a strong kinship with parallel Maxes, even though I never get to meet them. He added that if involved in an accident, it makes him think even more carefully about the what-ifs. The minimum tribute I can pay to that dead Max is to really think through what happened and learn some lessons. He said that when his wife was in labor, even he struggled to reconcile with the bizarre theory himself. It was going to go too well, and it was going to end in tragedy in different parallel universes. So what did it mean for me to hope that it was going well? He added, it's tough to get your emotions in sync with what you believe. I don't see any proof of a parallel universe. I just see some guy just rambling. Anyway. So yeah, maybe this is just one of those stories they're tossing out there because there's some great, huge find that they're going to surprise the world with. Or maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe this is just a basic story and whatever, right? So this was one I wanted to. I mean, is this even going to happen? That's the other thing. You know, I go to a lot of different websites, so-called conspiracy sites, and all this, and there's so many people still throwing out that MAGA, you know, make America great again. Trump's the greatest president we ever had, and he's going to drain the swamp. And it's like nobody realizing the only people going to jail are his allies and friends so far. Like, that's it, guys. All right. That's what's been going on. I've done some videos in the past. Others have as well. Questioning, is Trump the the tip of the spear? Some people say, is he going to be kind of America's last president? Is he the one that's going to set us up for the Antichrist? I know it's a crazy thing to think about. I know, but we consider everything. You know, here we try to kind of consider everything. Think outside the bun, right? So Trump, a new executive order could strip colleges of funding if they don't support free speech. I would love that. I hope this really happens, but I don't know. What do you think, guys? I mean, there's that senator that did the blackface thing and all that. The Democrat, he's still in office, right? They didn't do anything to him. They're totally like in control, and there's so many things weird happening with Trump lately. It's just, I just don't know. A lot of people are turning on him too. I mean, they already hated him. The world already hates the guy. Now more people are turning on him. More Republicans are turning on him. You know, I wonder where's this Mark Taylor Thomas guy that had all these predictions of Trump. You know, he's going to drain the swamp, guys. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And they call him a prophet, Mark Taylor Thomas or Thompson or something like that. They say he's the fireman prophet, that he predicted years before Trump would be president, he'd be president. And he did do some of this stuff, you know. But where is he now? So I remember him talking again about how Trump was, the whole media was going to turn around and fall in love with Trump, and you know, he's going to wind up being this great leader. And I just don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. I want this to happen. I think it'd be wonderful because our universities are, communist crap holes at this point. A new executive order could strip colleges of funding if they don't support free speech. I would really like to see that happen. I don't know. I like to think positive, right? So hopefully, I would love if Trump could start doing some of these things everyone says he's going to do. These prophets, they call them. Ex-trans man reveals a gender alien identity. Check this out. Eek! We've seen this before, right? We've seen this before. And remember, what resides within manifests out on the exterior. And here we go. He's got watchers all over him. Little fallen ones. Little fallen aliens. Jareth Nebula was born a woman before transitioning into a man 4 years ago. Hey, look, it's the number 33. That always shows up in these weird stories, doesn't it? It's a magic number. The 33-year-old has now revealed that it doesn't belong to any gender and is in fact an alien. Nebula, who works as a barber shop's receptionist and a model, thought it had finally found itself when it became a man at age 29. However, that feeling was fleeting, and Nebula soon realized it wasn't male or female or even human. Whoa. I didn't feel comfortable as either gender or even anything in between. I know I'm stuck in a human form, and that's how I'm perceived by others. But to me, I'm an alien with no gender. Nebula, who doesn't mind being described as he or she, but prefers it, first began to realize that it was unusual when it was diagnosed with a rare group of genetic connective tissue disorders called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It had lived with the rare condition all its life, but was only diagnosed at 26 when it identified as a lady. EDS results in stretchy skin and an increased range of joint mobility, and it can cause chronic pain. I just see sadness, confusion. Oh, I wanted to share this one because there's so many hoaxes online, especially on YouTube, and especially with paranormal and supernatural stuff. I got taken for a bit of a ride a few days ago. I'd had a video I'd found allegedly of, looked like a gargoyle or some kind of hybrid creature, and it was down in South America. And it looked so raw and real to me. I even ran it as a live Google show so y'all could all see it and we could try to figure out what it was. And then, with any time I tackle one of those kind of things, I ask y'all, man, if you can prove it's wrong, don't just be like fake and gay, unsubbed. I got a lot of that. I mean, tell me, show me 100% how it's fake, and I'll take these things down because there's a lot of hoaxes. All right, this happens. And luckily, some of you actually sent me the link to where some production company created the creature, and then someone else took the video that they created and they made it darker and a lot blurrier, so you couldn't see the obvious outline of the animation. And it looked very real to me. I was fascinated. I wish it was real. I love cryptozoology and creatures, and I really wish that one was real, but it's not. And you know what? You can go on YouTube right now, and there's still people running that. You got ads in the videos. They're showing this thing, and I'm not going to be the guy to run and tell everybody, "Hey guys, take it down." It's I don't even want to get involved in that, but. Yeah, it just goes to show you, man. I mean, it's, people get taken for a ride. All of us do it at one point or another, I mean, we're not perfect. So again, thanks to the community. Thanks to you guys for looking out for me. How many videos have you seen with this image in it, or at least that thumbnail? There's more pictures. Maybe you've seen it. Giant skeleton here with looks like a snake wrapped around it, right? A huge serpent type creature. Yeah, I'd like to see that happen in real life, right? I mean, how amazing would that be? A Nephilim giant battling a giant serpent. It's just so awesome, right? I would love to see that. Be incredible. But this is another, it's not a hoax. It's just art. It's a Taiwan art exhibit. But I've seen a lot of people pushing this video, man, as if it's real. There's some news stories they did where they didn't tell you it was an art project. They did some news stories like weird giant skeleton found in Taiwan, ? Just crap like that, leading people down these rabbit holes they can't climb back out of. Now let's read. 2 large-scale installations by Taiwan creators featuring the skeletons of a giant and a snake and a long-tail boat are among the key attractions at the inaugural Thailand Biennale in Krabi, according to the Ministry of Culture, November 5th. Okay. excuse me, Thai organizers chose, quote, giant ruins by Tu Wai Chang and artist collective Luxury Logicos Voyage in Time to remain on permanent display after the event closes next year. Anyway, I'm not going to read anymore. We get it. But let's see if there's some more pictures, maybe some close-ups. There's not. There you go, man. I mean, I know some of you are probably like, hey, I saw that video. I mean, I've seen a lot of people running these videos of this Nephilim giant found in Taiwan, you know. Nephilim giant fighting snake exposed. Got to be careful, especially when we deal in these fringe topics, you know. And I'm talking to myself too. I got to be careful too. Again, that's why this last time around it was nice to have some of y'all out there knew it was fake and you had my back. So thank you. This has been happening a lot lately too, man. Lots of retail stores are dying, but I think it's just it's a nod to it's where humanity is heading, especially here in America, is that they basically don't want you leaving your home. Everyone's just going to be sitting at home because you can get anything you want now through Amazon. You can order through other companies online, and they'll deliver it straight to your door. You know, so that's kind of where it seems like things are heading. So a lot of these retail outlet stores, they're dead and dying, man. Gap, JCPenney, Victoria's Secret, Foot Locker, 465 store closures in just 48 hours, guys. So that's where it's another huge movement, a huge trend. That's what's happening. It's like people are just staying home. It's mind-boggling that JCPenney still thinks they have time when the clock has run out and there's no real plan. Closing 18 stores is barely a drop in the bucket of their more than 850 stores. If this was a big, bold effort to reinvigorate the brand, they would have announced that they were closing hundreds of stores and investing in an outstanding experience at their locations. He added that JCPenney still desperately needs an inspiring vision for its brand as more and more customers head to Target, Walmart, and Amazon. I think it's really more about online shopping, Amazon. Anyway, there you go. Back before we had cell phones, we used to all hang out at the malls. I remember that. That's where you'd see a lot of your friends, and the skating rink and the movie theater. New recall of blood pressure medicine from Aurobindo Pharma. Let's take a look at what this here is all about. I told you guys about my medical stuff there for a while, some of the blood pressure medicine they had me on too, and I'm off all that. I'm pretty much all natural right now, except for a drug I have to take that keeps any blockage from happening in my stents. That's like the only thing I'm taking that's not natural at this point. All right, let's just read it. That pharma is recalling another lot of valsartan tablets due to possible cancer-causing chemicals. What could go wrong, right? 160 milligram pills with an expiration date of March 31st are being recalled. This medicine is used to treat high blood pressure and heart failure. Patients are encouraged to continue taking the medication until their doctor prescribes an alternative. But doctor, it causes cancer. Huh. Gee, how'd that happen? How'd that happen, guys? Uh-oh. We made a boo-boo with all the millions and millions of dollars in pharma. Big pharma. Just sorry, guys. And this is supposed to take care of your, your heart failure and your high blood pressure, but it can also cause cancer. Like they can't keep this stuff out. This happened with some of the meds they were trying to give me. They were starting to cause depression and suicidal ideation. I explained all this stuff in a video a while back if you haven't seen it. Sheesh. Pharmakia. Oh, here we go. Pinkos have more fun. Socialism is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's calling card, Trump's latest rhetorical bludgeon, and a new way to date in Brooklyn. Not going to read the article, just kind of looking at the trend with socialism. So I was talking about earlier with you guys. The socialism, that's what they're calling it. But America's moving into communism. And it's happening quickly. And now we get articles out like this, all the hipsters, all the wannabe cool kids. Hey, They're all socialists. Problem is, these punks haven't had to live through a socialist regime or communist regime. Neither have we. But I'm smart enough and have read enough to understand what's happened in history to other cultures when they go down this road. And it's never works out for the people. Okay? Look at Venezuela. What's happening over there right now? It's sad, man. I might have a Venezuela story in here tonight. I'm not sure. Pint-sized Picasso making waves in the art world. I guess kind of a doom break. I've actually got a doom break, but I don't know. It's not even super funny. It's a mix of emotions, and I'll show you that in a little while. We'll do the doom break later, but I guess this could be kind of a doom break. I don't know. What do you think about this art world stuff? There's a movie on Netflix called Chainsaw something. Gosh, was it Velvet Chainsaw or something like that? And it's all about the art world and what these people are like. And it's also a horror film, and most of them die. So it's it's entertaining. But let's see what this here's all about. Plus, it was it was made by the guy that wrote and directed one of my top 10 favorite thrillers called Nightcrawler. All right, it's a really interesting movie, Nightcrawler.
Not so sure about the hard-boiled eggs, though, and adores playing with friends. A quick glance from pandas covering her little piggies to pigtails, and Lola June seems similar to any other 2-year-old. But some might argue she's strokes ahead of most toddlers. You see, those chubby little paint-stained hands pulling pastels tell part of her story. She's an artist with her own exhibition titled Hope.
She's very talented, or maybe I should not use the word talented. She's like beautiful spirit.
Pythamus Monet curated the solo show. Says when he laid eyes on Lola June's very first piece, this one right here, he was surprised.
If I will see the same artwork and I didn't know who's the artist, if I will see it at the MoMA or like any museum, I'll stop by and pay respect for that. So
more than 30 of her works adorn the walls of Chashama, Space for Artists in Union Square. Founder Anita Durst tells me her nonprofit gets hundreds of applications every day from artists hoping to showcase their talents.
Lola's work, the color and the vibrancy, and the idea that she's a 2-year-old really attracted us.
Is this the youngest artist that you have ever put in one of your spaces?
Absolutely.
About a third of the artwork has already been sold, and the inquiries keep coming in. Prices range from $400 to $2,400, with the exception of this one. Remember her very first work of art? The price tag, $23,000. Likely way less than its sentimental value. From Union Square, Vanessa Murdoch, CBS 2 News.
Lola. What do you think about that? Pint-sized painter. I mean, did any of that stuff look worth that much money to you? I don't know. I'm not an art critic myself, but anyway, there you go. You got a pint-sized painter. Velvet Buzzsaw. I think that's what it was. A Velvet Buzzsaw. About the art world and art critics. So we have this story here too. Depression and self-harm on the rise among millennials. Young people today are far more likely to be depressed and to self-harm than they were 10 years ago, a new study suggests, as they struggle with body image and social media. Interesting that this also falls in line with what we were looking at earlier with the increase of young people wanting to switch their sexual identities. Right? We see all this stuff kind of falling into place, right? Anyway, I don't want to read all that. It's too depressing. But I did want to share, as it's a trend. More and more of these trends. Cher calls for laws to control men's bodies. They must be circumcised or wiener. This is really happening. Left-wing pop icon Cher suggested in a recent social media post that women create laws over men's bodies like banning the use of Viagra and giving the death penalty for those men who use massage parlors. Republicans believe they've got God-given right to dictate what we do with our bodies. Do they? Cher exclaimed. Women must make laws to control men's bodies. No Viagra, Rogaine, testosterone. All men must be circumcised and show papers or wieners to prove it. Massage parlors punishable by death. Men must take the pill. It's a spirit, anyway. Again, this is where they're leading to. We're leading to that one world system where there's going to be good people, which will be the ones who are on board with the evil, right? This is double speak. This is mirror world. This is as above, so below. And then there'll be the bad people, which will be Christians, conservatives, people with a heart, people with any sense in their brain or about them, common sense, critical thinking. They'll be the bad people. It's going to be us. We'd be the bad people. And that spirit's going to be running people. Already is, like this creep right here. This creep Cher. And you think they're kidding? Don't you remember when Hillary said that if she was elected, she wanted to create camps, like political camps, where people who didn't agree and were being outside the system could be put in there and they could be trained and taught how to function and how to look at things through the other side's perspective. She's not doing this to convert Democrats. She's doing this to convert people who aren't, all right, Democrats or lefties or loony lefties. She really said that. Look it up. Look it up. There you go. Oh, yay. That is a scary. Eek. Anyway, I won't harp on that. So weird. Some of those people are so weird. This was interesting. If you don't know, I've run some stories from these guys on here before. I've been checking that site out for years. Zero Hedge. Check out Zero Hedge, man. If you don't know about Zero Hedge, you're looking for a decent website, covers a lot of the stuff we're interested in. Definitely check out Zero Hedge, man. They're great. But recently they were actually banned by Facebook. This just happened a few days ago. So I found this is kind of a follow-up story. This is just from 24 hours ago. Facebook says Zero Hedge ban was a mistake amid uproar over big tech censorship of conservative content. Back when Brad Pitt was cool. Remember back when he was cool? I don't really feel like he's cool anymore. I did like Fight Club, though. I liked that movie, Fight Club. Facebook has reversed its decision to block users from sharing content from anti-establishment financial blog Zero Hedge after appearing to ban the site earlier this week. A backlash from figures including the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., Paul Joseph Watson, Nigel Farage, sparked reactions related to civil liberties surrounding conservative voices on social media. The decision to ban the site came about after a, quote, mistake. Remember, YouTube made that mistake. Remember when they pulled a ton of conservative and Republican channels from YouTube, and then about a week later said it was a mistake? Oops, sorry, guys. For a mistake in spam filtering controls, according to a Facebook statement. Facebook said it made the mistake in banning content on its site from conservative site Zero Hedge, which posts articles under the moniker Tyler Durden. A nod to the anarchic 1999 film Fight Club claimed its content was blocked by Facebook on Monday. Users reported that the site's posts were banned due to a contravention of, quote, community standards. This was a mistake with our automation algorithm to detect spam, and we worked to fix it yesterday, a Facebook spokesman said, according to Breitbart. We use a combination of human review and automation to enforce our policies around spam. And in this case, our automation incorrectly blocked this link. As soon as we identified the issue, we worked quickly to fix it. Right-wing commentators have accused social media sites of liberal bias, with companies such as Facebook and Twitter reportedly meeting with GOP officials in the past to address complaints about censorship. The president's son, Donald Trump Jr., InfoWars writer Paul Joseph Watson, and Brexiter Nigel Farage spoke out. All right, got it. Anyway, there you go. Just more of that censorship, right? Remember back when Brad Pitt was cool? And before Angelina Jolie? We're going to come back to that one. Oh yeah, the goats. We get a lot of trends week to week on this show, and it's all about the goats. We're living in a Baphomet reality, right? Baphomet's the transgender devil, the Freemason goat god. So we get these weird and seemingly random stories for a long time on the show here, is week to week. There's always these goat stories. So now we got more than 60 goats missing in Fresno County following sudden spike in unusual crime. They use goats a lot in satanic masses and rituals as well. So I don't think it's that big of a mystery, but that's just me. Anyway, an unusual crime wave is sweeping through Fresno County. More than 60 goats valued at roughly, well, it could have been for money too, who knows, valued at roughly $27,000 have gone missing in the last 2 months. There have been 7 cases of goat theft since January 7th in an area spanning less than 20 miles from Easton to Riverdale. Investigators think the thieves are making their move at night when they're not likely to be spotted and rounding up the animals in trucks. The Central Valley typically sees a few livestock thefts each year, Bodie said, but 61 animals in 2 months is highly unusual. There's definitely a trend here, and it's ticking up. A lot of the time, these suspects are using the cover of darkness to pull this off. They can pull up and get through the fence and load them up and go without being seen. The goat stories are back. I think there's another one up here too. More than 60 goats go missing. Unusual crime. I wonder if those are rituals they're being used in. Yeah, here's the other goat story. This town in Vermont just elected a goat named Lincoln as its honorary mayor because we're living in that Baphomet reality. I just saw a trailer for a movie called Hell Satan where they did a documentary on Lucian Greaves and his little group, the Satanic Temple. And it plays out like a comedy. And I was reading that it apparently did fantastic in all these film festivals. People are loving it. Of course they are. We moved away from God. We moved away from Jesus. Right? We moved away from all that. We got the rise of witches and witchcraft. We got the, quote, Illuminati symbols in almost everything. Satanic symbols in almost everything. All the young people want to be an opposite sex. They're living delusion, or they're depressed, or they're cutting. And drug use is on the rise. We elected a goat named Lincoln as its honorary mayor. It's the Baphomet reality. The trans goat god. Increasing human lifespan could turn, I think I put this in a recent video. Increasing human lifespan could turn people into walking zombies, warns expert. I mainly wanted to do it with the just with the headline. I'll read a little bit here. Increasing human lifespan risks turning huge numbers of people into walking zombies because experts are not close to solving the problem of dementia and brain cell loss. Labs across the world are trying to tackle the causes of aging and have recently made important breakthroughs in understanding why cells grow old and die and how to stop the process. Likewise, improvements in treating diseases like cancer and advances in vaccination and nutrition mean populations are living longer than ever. It's one of those where you have to sign up, I guess, to see the rest of the story. Anyway, so singularity, when they start combining men with machines and women with machines and all this, I just see stories like this as kind of setting us up and moving us that way. And it does make me wonder. There are going to be these issues before they can actually start implementing this stuff, like Google putting that Siri in your brain, stuff like this, right? There's going to be other issues. You guys still with me? I'm never looking at chat when I'm doing these shows. I don't even know how many people are listening, but thanks again for being here. Hope you're doing well. It's really nice to be back. Nice to be back with you guys and just chatting, talking about some of these stories. So, good to see you, man. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Another adult bully leftist attacks child in Trump MAGA hat. The video is terrible. I wanted to play it, but you can't see anything. I just showing the division and this MAGA stuff. It just triggers people, right? There's a lot of stories on this tonight. on the LGBT and the trans. Birmingham school stops LGBT lessons after parents sent death threats. A primary school in Birmingham, the second biggest city in England, has announced it's officially halting their LGBT introduction lessons when 600 pupils were taken out of classes by furious parents upset by homosexuality being aggressively taught to their children. Threats have been made against the assistant head teacher, who is gay. No surprise there. He claims to have received several nasty emails, including one which warned he wouldn't last long. The school is predominantly Muslim. And that's, to me, that's the story, is where are the, I don't want Christians, or I wouldn't want Christians threatening violence and things like this, but how come we don't hear more stories about this where the Christians are standing up when they're doing this kind of garbage in American schools all the time? There's so much programming that's taking place in American schools and with the kids. And where are the parents standing up? You know, the Christian parents. Why aren't they standing up more and fighting against some of these agendas? But this had angry Muslims. And that can be kind of frightening. I'm just saying. So the school backed down. I wonder if they would have backed down if it was Christians. If it was Christians, I bet the narrative would have changed. You know, hateful Christians trying to silence the voice of these poor LGBT people and whatever. This happened in my home state. Son 19 killed parents because, quote, they were Satan worshipers, which they weren't. In fact, his daddy was I don't know, actually. I can't say for sure or not. His daddy was a drummer in a church, I think. Anyway, let's take a look. Again, doesn't mean he's completely clean. Church can be a great cover for some of the worst psychopaths out there and narcissists and everything else bad.
All right. An Oklahoma teen told police he killed his parents because they'd been communicating with him telepathically. An Oklahoma teen told police he killed his parents because they'd been communicating with him telepathically and were Satan worshipers. This is according to an affidavit KWTV reported it obtained. 19-year-old Michael Elijah Walker is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. His 17-year-old brother told police he woke up to the sound of gunshots and saw his mother in the hallway telling him to call 911. Here's that call.
Does he know you called police?
Yes, I believe he does.
That's when he saw his brother walking down the hallway holding a gun. He says Michael told him to hang up the phone and then everything was okay.
I think that's about all we know about this now. The boy also said his older brother told him that he shot their parents because they were sending him messages telepathically and they were Satan worshipers, and that everything was okay and he would bury the bodies. Walker himself told police he had gotten into an argument with his parents after he asked them a question about Satanism, and that his father tackled him on the bed, so he grabbed his gun and he shot him. Anywhere I could hit him, he said. He also told police that after shooting his mother, he walked back to his bedroom after reloading his pistol before returning to shoot her again because he believed she was still alive. Okay. There you go. There you go. I'm chewing on Tic Tac gum, so I hope it's not making a lot of noise. The apocalyptic roaring sounds are back. Remember, this whole thing started, very interesting stuff, started about 3 years ago, and it's still around. People are recording these strange sounds coming from the sky all around the world. People are saying, I guess in this story, they're trying to say it might be harp, but let's watch the video. I think you can hear it. Kind of listen here. I'll stop it there. I don't know. You know, it reminds me. Anytime there's some really real weird stuff happening out there, possibly paranormal, supernatural, There's always people going to destroy it as much as they can online, especially on YouTube. And I remember a few years ago when these weird apocalyptic sounds started up, and again, they're all around the world. They even had one during a baseball game, like live during a baseball game in America. Okay, so I mean, it's all around the world. But I remember the big story back then from the naysayers and the non-believers was that it was a viral campaign from J.J. Abrams, and another thought behind this was that it was for the new Godzilla movie at the time, that people were making these videos and putting the weird sounds to promote Godzilla, which of course none of that ever happened. None of that ever came out, especially after they started recording them live during things like baseball games. There's just no denying that something was happening. So there you go, man. I don't know exactly what it is. I've covered some of this in some of my videos. I need to go ahead and look it up and see how many more of these have been recorded lately. Like this year alone, I wonder, The apocalyptic sounds. Viral campaign for Godzilla. Okay. Colombia has legalized euthanasia of children. Allows doctors to do that to wipe out kids over 6 years old. It's from March 5th. Colombia is not a nation that one associates with the end-of-life debates, but it is one of the few which has legalized euthanasia, even for children over 6 years old. Perhaps the issue has flown under the radar because many Colombians are Catholics or evangelicals for whom euthanasia is anathema. The process began in 1997 when Colombia's constitutional court ruled that ending lives in certain circumstances was not illegal. It stated, nothing is more cruel than to force a person to survive in the midst of shameful suffering in the name of other people's beliefs. However, this still left the legal status of assisted suicide and euthanasia. Dang, I said the word. There you go. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm didn't hear it. However, this still left the legal status of assisted, that word, and euthanasia in a legal limbo. Activists could not be sure that they would not be prosecuted. Okay. I don't want to read it all. But anyway. Colombia's legalized euthanasia of children, allows doctors to kill kids over 6 years old. Oh, here it is. I was wondering how they could do that. So on March 9th, 2018, the Department of Health and Social Protection issued a resolution which allows euthanasia of children over 6. The department explained that before the age, children cannot grasp the idea of their own death. However, children between the ages of 7 and 12 are allowed access to euthanasia with the approval of their parents. Children between 12 and 14 can access it even if one parent disagrees. After 14, no parental involvement is needed, provided that all the requirements for euthanasia are fulfilled. Another thing we've been programmed with for many years is this idea of, what was it in suicide? I said it again. YouTube really hates that word. But the suicide machines that were in Futurama, I think. Anyway, they want to kill a lot of us off anyway, okay? This is part of it. This is why we see the rise of robots and transhumanism. They're getting us ready for a post-human existence. It's like the Georgia Guidestones. The New World Order 10 Commandments says maintain population under, 500 million, I think? So this is the death culture. We've seen this. I've shown you a lot of examples of that throughout the years. Other people have covered this stuff. But this system is ready for a lot of us to leave. Let's just put it that way. Is it going to be some kind of a catching away rapture event? I don't know. Will it come in the form of something else? Will it be nuclear bombs popping off and lots of people disappearing? Will it be the fake invasion where it's actually the fallen angels, the tricksters, the hidden ones coming down as alien saviors from other planets, wiping out a large portion of people in this world because they're not ready for the New World Order. They're not ready for the new system. I don't know. There's different things I think about with all this, but I do know there's a death culture. I do know they want to wipe a lot of us out. That's why you're seeing, again, robots taking over everything and transhumanism, all this push. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. This, maybe Maybe this is for you, dudes. I'm not sure. Thai millionaire offers $300K to man who will marry his daughter. Pretty lady. She's a doll. Thai businessman made a fortune selling fruit across Asia is reportedly offering some $300,000 to the person who will marry his 26-year-old daughter. Look at her. She's a doll. Mr. Arnon Rodthong. Rodthong. Nice. Funny name. Mr. Arnon Rodthong. Rodthong. Sounds like the name of the lead singer for like a heavy metal band, or maybe really more like a hair metal band. Tommy Rodthong, right? Tommy Rodthong. Introducing. Claims he would like a hardworking and reliable man for his youngest daughter. I want someone to take care of my business and make it last. I don't want a person with a bachelor's or master's or philosopher's degree. I want a diligent man. I just want someone with a hardworking attitude. That's all. Guys, what do you think? She says, my dad wishes well for me. He wants my husband to have the same personality as my brothers, which is good. Diligent man who loves his family. Tiny side note, the final decision will be made during a tournament on the 1st of April. Uh-oh, is this an April Fool's-er? Which might have some wonder whether there's any truth in all this. Okay, yeah. All right. I didn't see that until just now. Freaking internet tricksters. Look into it, though, man. Some of you guys might be perfect for you. Turns out to be real. You get this beautiful lady right here, and you get to work a business, work for this Thai businessman, and be part of, I guess, part business owner or something. I don't know. But is it real? That's the question. That's the question. Looks like the only other YouTube video we got tonight.
Go untouched in a fire that destroyed a West Virginia church. The Coal City Fire Department said they made the discoveries on Sunday while searching through the rubble at Freedom Ministries Church in Grandview. On Facebook, the fire department wrote, "Picture this, a building so hot that at one point in time firefighters had to back out. In your mind, everything should be burned, ashes. Not a single Bible was burned and not a single cross was harmed. Not a single firefighter was hurt." The department did not say if there's another explanation. No injuries were reported.
Thought that was interesting. And this is interesting too. It's got another one of those words that YouTube don't likey. But next time these Girl Scouts, get in your way when you're out shopping and they ask if you want to buy some cookies, just tell them I've decided to stop giving money to your organization since you gave your highest award to a teenager who's promoting abortion. That word right there. Girl Scout gives its highest award to teen who organized campaign promoting that. Disgusting. That is disgusting. Even the Girl Scouts, man. Right? Even the Girl Scouts. Hi, you want to buy some cookies? I've decided against it, young lady. Why? Because your organization gave its highest award to a teenager who's organized a campaign promoting. All right? That's fine. Go. Get out of here. Shoot. Get out of here. I don't want your darn cookies anyway. Mommy, he said. Girl Scouts give its highest award to teen who organized campaign promoting that. It's wonderful. Thanks, Girl Scouts. We're going to come back to that. That's your kind of your doom break. Kind of. You'll see what I mean. Oh, I love this. This could be considered kind of a doom break. Look at that thing, man. Giant wolf Yuki dropped off at kill shelter, rescued by wolf sanctuary. Look at this thing. That is beautiful. Did a video a while back, remember, of a dog running through the forest and suddenly one of these things jumped out, like a giant black wolf jumped out and started chasing him around. If I can... Here we go. It's a better picture. Wow, right? I mean, it's real. Look at that wolf, man. Beautiful creature. Beautiful creature. Its nose is the size of her fist. If she made a fist, nose would be the size of that fist. Look at that. Beautiful creature, man. Beautiful. I wonder how much it costs to feed that. Can you imagine? He's 87.5 gray wolf, 8.6 Siberian husky, 3.9% German shepherd. Beautiful creature. Wow. Not going to read this whole article. Another one I'm just showing you about some of the division and how they're going after. I mean, they already got rid of Bill O'Reilly over on, Fox News is the only news channel in America that we have that even tries to show you a different perspective. Every other, like if you're listening from another country and you didn't know this, it's like every other news channel we have in America, every other channel we have in America, like big broadcasters, they're all hardcore left, all far to the left. And then you got even like CNN and all that. I mean, it's all left. The only company out there that even tries to show a different side is Fox. And they got rid of Bill O'Reilly. They got rid of Megan. They keep coming after him, man. The system is definitely trying to shut Fox down. I'm not saying they're perfect, but it's nice to have something outside of, the other 100 companies out there that are pushing leftist politics. It's nice to at least have an option to see the other side. Fox News Tucker Carlson opened up his show Tearing into Media Matters. The site posted clips from his multiple radio appearances with Bubba the Love Sponge. He said some things, right, I guess, that upset somebody. And anyway, they're coming after him. Again, don't want to read the whole story, but just goes to show you there's a real battle taking place here in America for freedom of speech inside the online community, facilitating the gender transitions of 5-year-olds. There's a lot of stories on this subject this week, this last few weeks. It hadn't been this way for a while, but there's a lot of this stuff coming out here. Yes, there are actually parents who are dumbfounded and confused when their 5-year-old children don't take to wearing fake wieners or tucking their real ones. A watchdog group called Fourth Wave Now is raising awareness online about the ever-accelerating medical and media fascination with the phenomenon of trans children. This week, the group released screenshots from a private Facebook group called Parents of Trans Children, which exposed multiple conversations surrounding the practices of packing and tucking for supposedly trans children as young as 5 years old. Some conversations involve parents expressing confusion at their child's lack of interest in prosthetic wieners. My kid doesn't seem that miffed about not having a wiener, which frankly throws me off a bit, one reads. Others simply ask for recommendations for the best age-appropriate fake wiener for their young children. This is something people are doing with their young children. Fake wiener, as well as for stand-to-pee devices. Okay. Groovy. The peeing upright is more important than the bulge for my 6-year-old, reads another. Wow. Okay. The online store Transwear seems to be a fan favorite for those in search of fake child wieners. I don't really want to read the rest of this, but I think you get the idea. Yeah. What is this mysterious global hum, and is it simply noise pollution? Up to 4% of people are said to hear a strange, low-pitched noise known as the hum, but no source has ever been found. City life is one possible cause. Whenever I wake up, it's there, and it's unbelievably loud. When nobody else can hear it, you think you're going nuts, and it just wears you down, says Simon Payne, 55, from Cambridgeshire. Payne is a hearer of the mysterious global phenomenon known as the hum. I have been desperate to get away from it, so I have stayed with friends and even moved houses. The hum is experienced as a consistent, low-pitched noise, much like the sound of a large truck idling in a nearby parking lot. Hearers tend to report experiencing it in urban areas, leading some to conclude that it is, in fact, a form of noise pollution screened from most people by the general city soundscape. It's said to cause symptoms that range from insomnia to headaches to dizziness, but because its actual source is unknown, it's impossible to discern its effects accurately. The earliest reliable reports of the phenomenon date from the UK in the early 1970s. According to a 2004 investigation by the geoscientist David Deming, a hum hearer himself, Deming was unable to find a source, urban or otherwise, but despite the tantalizing nature of the mystery, his is one of the few formal studies that exist. Mainstream scientists, unwilling to keep company with theorizing alien fanatics and conspiracy theorists, have largely avoided the topic, unfortunately, for those who suffer its effect. But in 2012, on hearing the hum himself, science teacher and former university lecturer Glenn McPherson decided to follow in Deming's footsteps to get to the bottom of the strange phenomenon. To start, he created the World Hum Map and Database, an interactive map that has accumulated thousands of hearers' descriptions of their experience and their locations across the globe. He estimates that up to 4% of people worldwide can hear the hum. Armed with this and a team of volunteer investigators in various countries, McPherson set out to test a set of 4 hypotheses regarding its possible source. Natural sources of sonic phenomenon were an obvious starting point. Sounds resulting from volcanoes have been verified as propagating for durations and distances that seem unreal, circling the entire Earth multiple times. However, Elizabeth Slider, a Canadian physicist, investigated the hum, says there are many natural sources such as aurora, lightning, meteors, volcanoes, waterfalls, and ocean waves, yet none of these seem to be consistent with the manifestation of the hum. An original resource of the microwave auditory effect, James Lynn, now at the University of Illinois, believes this hypothesis is a non-starter, pointing to the fact that microwave auditory effect requires a signal that's pulsed, which would not yield a constant hum sound. All right, whatever, boring science talk. But there you go, man. If you want to read the rest of this article, check this out. This is over at The Guardian. What is this mysterious global hum, and is it simply noise pollution? This one's really interesting. It's one I'm watching very closely. Ethiopian Airlines crash. No bodies found. No bodies were found in their wreckage of doomed Boeing 737. Now, this apparently had all 157 people on board are dead, and apparently it was a bunch of people from the United Nations. So there's something that really stinks about this story already. No bodies were recovered from the wreckage of the doomed Ethiopian Airlines Boeing plane. It emerged today. Investigators at the crash site have scoured through debris of the Boeing 737 since Sunday's tragedy, but Ethiopian Airlines today confirmed only tiny remains of the plane have been found intact. There were no bodies, a spokesman for the airline said. There were no bodies. Multiple nations, including all in the European Union, have suspended the 737. All 157 people on board the plane died. The disaster has rocked the global aviation industry. 9 victims were Brits. They found a baby shoe, but there's no bodies. Okay. I'm watching this one really closely. This one stinks. This stinks. Something's up. I don't know what, but something's up. There were a bunch of UN officials on that flight, killing all 157 people on board, but no bodies were found. That just doesn't make sense, right? It's just a headline here. Mental health issues increased significantly in young adults over the last decade, and we see that line up with a lot of the other stories we read, right? More proof of that. This is world's moved away from God, faith, Christ. This is where we're at now. Another headline, young men giving up on marriage, women aren't women anymore. I'm doing a video about some of these subjects, MGTOW, men going their own way, and a lot of this. Even what's happening with the ladies giving up on marriage as well. So I won't go into the whole article right now, but another trend we're seeing. This is worldwide, not just in America. Young men giving up on marriage, women aren't women anymore, they say. Taco Bell workers fired after wild video of mob attack surfaces. Let's check this out. Maybe they'll show us that wild video.
Happened to me.
Brian Reese says workers behind the counter at the Taco Bell at 11th and Chestnut targeted him in an unprovoked attack caught on his friend's cell phone camera.
I'm angry and frustrated, absolutely. The fact that people can just jump counters and beat up whoever they want.
You can see in the video workers in Taco Bell uniforms holding the 38-year-old real estate broker in a headlock as the assault spilled into the street, while another worker threw punches. When Reese's girlfriend tried to stop them, they say a worker held her down while another beat her. They took these photos of some of their injuries.
It was such a blur because it was so traumatic, like seeing my two friends getting beat up for no reason.
Joe Bobak shot the video back on February 24th.
It was like complete chaos.
Brian Reese says he put the video out on social media today after Taco Bell and police were slow to address the attack.
It was unprovoked, and there's no reason that my girlfriend should have been on the ground getting beat up as well.
Taco Bell released this statement to NBC 10 tonight. We're shocked and disappointed to see this situation. We and our franchisees do not tolerate this behavior. The franchisee who owns and operates this location is retraining its staff, and all team members involved have been terminated. Reese says he's glad to hear about the firings, and he plans to press charges.
Justice means the people get arrested, and there's repercussions.
Anyway, there's the gist. We get it. Taco Bell workers fired after wild video of mob attack surfaces. And now, to the last story. I mean, maybe Doombreakish. Maybe kind of funny, some of it. I don't know. Also kind of tragic. We'll go through these together. I'm here for you. This is titled 37 Women Before and After Third Wave Feminism Hit Them. I call it not quite that, but third wave feminism is just another arm of the many, or another tentacle of this beast system. This is one of the attacks happening on women. You see a lot of women falling into this. So I say this is 37 women before and after the beast system got a hold of them. But we'll take a look here. See if I can make this a little bigger. Oh, there we go. So here's the first one. Before and after third wave feminism. I mean, some of these are just incredible. Second, that. Whoa. Wow. I mean, look at that. That's a big change, huh? Sheesh. Whoa. Hello. And look what's on her leg. This is, again, very telling, guys. Look at that. On this girl's on the right side picture, on her right leg, who do we see? Who we've been talking about tonight a bit? The goat. You got the Baphomet, right? So this is a part of that beast system, as I was telling you. This is one of the tentacles of that beast system. And you see she's literally imprinted with it. And what did I say earlier? It starts from within, right? And then manifests to the surface. That's a shame. Beautiful girl on the left side there. Cute on the left. Eek! On the right. Another one. Another one bites the dust. Whoa! There's that. I mean, just, you know, gender confusion, right? That one. Jeepers. Whoa. And there's that. Somewhere a father is crying. There's this one. Big difference. Big difference. Whoa! What the? Geesh, another one. You know? It's like you see this spirit. This to me, it's a spirit. Just gets a hold of these girls, and this is what you get. Sweet and innocent, you know, looking at least on the left. On the right side, you get that, you know. But this one, another one. It's that spirit, whatever it is, gets a hold of them, right? Man, that's not really that big of a difference. Wow. Huge difference. Look at that, man. That's crazy. It looks like two totally different people. Right? Another one. Totally different people. Cutie. Cutie over there on the left. And then that. This is what these girls go to college and get in those gender studies courses and You get all these liberal, not even liberal, Marxist college professors indoctrinating these young people into turning into things like this. Look at this. What a mess, huh? I'm not trying to be mean. That's a mess. It's a mess. This one's got more hair under her arms than I do. I mean, I'm an Indian. 25%, they say. But I've got enough to where I'm not a very hairy man. It's a little insider information. Whoa, wow. Jeepers. Jeepers. That happened. That happened right there. That happened. Another one. Wow. That's really Rachel Maddow and what she used to look like. That's the lady over on CNN, I think, right? Wow. Another one. That cutie, all natural on the left. Then this happens over here. Big difference there too. Wow. Super cutie over there on the left, man. Super cutie. Whoa. And then there's that. Another one. Cute thing over there. You got that. Another one. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. That's it. That's it. That's it. See, how do you feel? I don't know. It's not funny. It's actually kind of sad. But anyway. Well, that concludes our show for this evening, you guys. That concludes the stories. Once again, I'm incredibly grateful that you're here. I missed you guys. I'm back. Chubbs is still in lockup. We tried, man. He's being a major stinker tonight. So, maybe next time. I've tried tricks. I've tried to put food in my pocket he likes and make him meow and talk to me. And like, he'll talk to me when he feels like talking. He just, he's not in the mood during these shows. He just wants my attention. Usually he wants to play or he wants me to hold him. He likes playing fetch. I'm rambling about Chubbs. I'm going to stop that right now. I got a lot of work, though. I've been working on some great videos coming your way. Thanks again for your patience with my work. I take my time with what I do because I want to make sure it's something that matters and counts and that I've got all my little ducks in a row when I put a video out. So thanks. Thank you so much. And huge thanks to my Patreon friends and PayPal friends. I just put up a new video. YouTube, no likey, wasn't monetized. This happens, time to time here. It's kind of a mix. I don't even monetize these shows anymore. So I really appreciate the Patreon and the PayPal friends out there, and keeps me going, man. It lets me put all my attention into my videos and my shows and anything else I want to create and do in the future that pertains to my work, So God bless you, man. Thank you, for real. Anyway, guys, once again, I appreciate the moderators being here tonight. Thanks to the crowd and the crew. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll plan another show for next Thursday. For now, I guess I'll keep them on Thursdays unless anybody doesn't like that. Let me know what you think about the nights. But right now, since I did it tonight, we'll try to keep them on Thursdays now for a while, and just let me know what you think about that. So that's it, man. I'll let you go for now. Keep your peepers peeled for more videos from me, more work coming out. And much love to you, man. Y'all have a good week and a great weekend, and I'll talk to you a little later.